Morning folks, welcome to a rainy April Tuesday. Are we far enough past the weekend yet for me to be able to talk about the World Cup? Now I asked the question about is it okay to talk about this yet, because if I miss the live feed or I'm not able to watch the replay for a little while afterwards and I accidentally find out about the results, I'm genuinely hurt, like not like to tears, but I would say as much as if you dropped your phone on the floor and cracked your screen, right? It's like it's that much of a downer if you find out about it. So I'm hoping by leaving it till Tuesday that there'll be enough time passed and people have at least caught up on some replay highlights or the results. It's dark in here today. Well, the rain's back again, so apologies if I get any like drips on the lens while I'm doing this. Rain, that leads me on to the next thing to talk about the World Cup, the weather. So obviously prior to the weekend and in the build up to the weekend and teams arriving for practice and stuff, there was a heck of a lot of talk about how wet it was, and it kind of leads me to imagine what went on in the pits, because obviously a lot of the races are quite friendly with each other and there's people from all over the world, so you wonder what's gone on. I mean, what do the British people say in that? I mean the Canadians as well, to be fair, but you know, it chucks down and then it sort of starts to dry up a bit and that makes some changes to the track, but it's generally wet and sloppy. For a start, all of the people who raced the previous week at Ayr Forest must be thinking, oh well, you know, we've seen this before. But you know, like people like Danny Hart, what do you think he was saying when everybody was going around shrugging their shoulders going, oh look how wet it is, and he was probably thinking, oh well, standard. Adam Brayton, another one. I mean, Adam Brayton's a good example. He's a fellow Cumbrian. He must have been thinking, well, yeah, this is just pretty normal. A dude come 27th and all, blistering run. It's just I can't find any footage of it, but totally blistering run. Also, 3 other names that we can't leave out. It'd have to be Rachel, Tani and Manon. For example, imagine what it was like for them in the pits. Oh, the weather, it's wet, sticky conditions, très difficile, huh? They're probably like, yeah, oh yeah, what can you do? We're not used to that. They just raced at Ayr Forest as well. 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Hats off to them. For those of you that like your conspiracy rumours good and wacky, I've got one for you. Cy Patton's got an app on his phone that can predict the weather 15 months in advance, and if you give him a couple of bottles of nice wine he'll let you have a look at it, because plainly he's looked at the weather for Ayr Forest a week before the first World Cup and gone, it's going to be wet. Looked at the weather for the World Cup, gone, it's going to be wet, that'll be cracking, we'll give him a bit of training before the first World Cup. So it's a rumour obviously. So it's really started to decide to chuck it down a bit now. Speaking of rain, the ongoing theme, 2 riders where that didn't really seem to make much difference have got to talk about the battle between Gwyn and Bruni. Gwyn being from California, not particularly known for its riding slop, and Bruni being in the south of France, again an area known for its better weather. Those two are ridiculously fast. I'm starting to sort of believe in the theories that Gwyn might be an actual wizard now. But as Josh Bryson will tell you from that World Champs in Halfyell, for Bruni you've got to stay on your bike all the way down, and you know, he was pushing it, and he obviously, you can't deny that the lad he wants to win and he's putting the effort in, and it's a tricky one, you know. So he's racing on the edge, and it's a damn shame because he had Gwyn, and Gwyn told him at the end of the race, and all, you know, all power to Gwyn for that, because it's good sportsmanship. But yeah, he definitely had him. I think it's going to be a hard season between them two, because they're both just, well, they're just ridiculously quick. So other notables from the weekend have got to be Finn Isles in the juniors. A while ago I saw a video, I can't remember whether it was an advert for Specialised, or anyway, I can't remember what the advert was for, but if you saw the same video, it starts off with him, I think he was saying, oh, this is going to be smooth, and then he just jets off. Now obviously that's an edit, so take from that what you will, but you couldn't help but watch it even if, you know, a fortnight and go and think, Christ, that kid's fast. So I don't know, not a massive surprise that he won, but you know, it's his first proper go at it, I suppose. What else? Mark Beaumont, I'm bitterly disappointed for him. He's obviously keen to get back into it, and just missing out on qualifying there, that's got to be hard times. But he's a seasoned pro, so he's going to bounce back. On the flip side, made up for Petey, qualified, first time in like 10 years since Petey's had to qualify. It'd be a long time anyway since Petey's had to qualify. Did the job, got the points, he's all set for Fort Bill, so that's great news. Some of you guys might be able to help me out with here, because I don't know if I've remembered it incorrectly or I'm just going bloody crazy. I don't know if Bryceland had signed one of them waivers to be able to wear a head cam on the way down in his race run, or am I just making that up? I can't remember, but I feel like, did he have a head cam on his race run? If he did, I've been searching for his race run footage and I can't find it, and if it's true and he did have a camera on, that might have been practice. Anyway, if he had a camera on and anybody knows that he's released that footage and knows where to find it, hit us up with a link to it, because I'd love to see the head cam on that run. It was just like, it was like Rat Boy was on just a full mission of, well, it's slippery, I might come off, so I'm just gonna open the throttle up and hammer it on the way down. His run looked awesome. Anyway, all in all, it was a brilliant start to the season, and it's just so cool that the World Cup season's here again. Off to Cairns in a couple of weeks, I believe, and there was some rumblings of a typhoon going to be hitting Cairns on some weather warnings. Don't know if that's completely true, but it might make for an interesting round there. So this part of the vlog is aimed at you. Yes, you there behind the screen. You've made it this far through the video, and you've put up with me wittering on about how much I love watching World Cup downhills. So if you've got this far, I'm going to take it that you're one of the more hardcore fans, and therefore you're directly the people I want to speak to. The reason that I've been wandering around in the woods today in all this rain and carry on is because I'm now finalising the things that need to be done for the dig crews, and also looking at the available weekends for the dig crews. So basically today's been wandering around about things that we can sort out, jobs to, you know, tasks to complete at that weekend, and also I'm watching very persistently and heavily watching the weather reports to try and find us a weekend. I will say that in the next couple of days or this weekend coming, I do want to get sorted out with a bit of a thunderbox, because at the end of the day, if you're camping over for a weekend and you've got to drop a deuce, and you've got to, you know, nature calls. So I want that to be in place as well, but heavily keeping an eye on the weather and the long range forecasts, and trying to get this toilet sorted and in place, and also now have a list of tasks for us to complete. So what's the score? So I'm going to be announcing to everybody via Facebook, not just the watchers of this video, quite shortly, hopefully quite shortly, when I can pick a decent weekend, of a weekend's dig crew. Looking at hopefully, again, fingers crossed, that we can get somewhere between a dozen, 16, maybe 20 of you who are willing to volunteer your time for the weekend. We'll camp out on the Saturday evening, dig all day Saturday, camp out on the Saturday evening. Sunday morning, I'll have something to eat as well, and maybe a couple of shandies. Something to eat on the Sunday morning as we get up, go and do a little bit of raking and tidying up, and then I'll ask those people that are coming to bring the bikes and equipment with them, because you know, what's the point in digging a load of stuff if you're not going to test it on the Sunday afternoon. So that's the score. As I say, I'm going to use this tree. touch wood, we can find between 12 and 20 of you who are available to volunteer for that weekend, and we'll make it a bit of a laugh as well. We'll put the riding in there too. So we're just looking at grabbing a decent forecast for a weekend, and making sure that we can, there's not a lot of point in slopping around in here and just putting mud on the shovels and raking mud through, because you're never going to be able to build with those kind of conditions, not properly, not what we need to be doing. So weather's going to be key, having a dunny is going to be key, and barbecue food and a bit of booze is probably going to be key as well. I mean, let's be fair, you've got to be a bit of reward after you've been digging all day. So that's what's coming, so look out for that. I'll make the announcement when I get a date set. I'd like to make it as soon as possible, to be honest with you, because I think we might need to do a couple of these weekends to get us where we want to be. Anyway, thanks very much for staying with us through the whole video. You guys get to hear that first, and thanks very much for your time. I'll see you soon.